right, hello.
Hi,
Hi, Chloe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you able to hear me all right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, well, we're here to discuss your son. Can you just please identify him and his date of birth, please?
Yeah, his name is Jimmy, and his birthday is March 30th, 2021.
Perfect. All right, well, can you give me just an overview of how he is? As a person, just kind of an overview of how you would describe him.
Jimmy is sweet and loving. He's very energetic. He loves water, like water activities, swimming. Um, he likes taking walks on the beach, and he really likes taking a bath.
Taking a bath. Oh, okay, that's very nice. Do you guys go to the beach a lot?
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. All right, well, how would you describe his way of communicating?
Jimmy uses one word phrases like open, help, mommy, but still hasn't figured out how to string phrases together. Like he won't say mommy, help,
Okay,
or
perfect.
open, please. It's
Okay,
just open, or just he'll bring something to me and says, please.
okay, please. All right, is he in school right now?
Not yet.
Okay,
So it's just me and him at home.
okay. So, can you describe his play skills, or like, does he like certain toys or activities?
Um, he really likes Play Doh and squishy things like squishy pillows, squishy squashmallows like the pillow, um, Orbeez, water beads,
And water beads.
and slime. Those are very preferred.
Is there anything else he likes? Like, does he
Um,
prefer certain
he
activities or
likes he
games?
shows interest in puzzles,
Puzzles?
but often needs help to put them together. He's better at the like matching wooden puzzles, but not jigsaw puzzles yet.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Is he taking any medication right now?
No, just a daily multivitamin.
Daily vitamins. Okay. All right. All right. And then looking at his previous reports and his IEP, I noticed that you mentioned some problem behaviors. Can you go ahead and identify some problem behaviors you've seen
Yeah,
from your son?
I just have a concern over his hand flapping, and when he's very excited, loud, high pitched screaming. Those are like the two main concerns. It's um it draws a lot of attention when we're out in public. Like, for example, we're shopping and he can stay next to me and he walks next to me, but he's like flapping his hands and he sees something that we're shopping for. Like, for example, waffles. We're looking for waffles and we're walking towards frozen foods and he sees the waffles and he knows which one to get, and he will just flap his hands and scream in excitement. And it's so loud, and it's even sometimes like shocks me by surprise with how loud he gets. Um,
Okay, so the hand flapping and the high pitched screaming, you mentioned that it occurs when he's very excited. Is that the only time you've noticed him doing that, or does he also do it like when he's upset?
um, I would say typically when like he's excited or like in outdoor spaces where there's a lot of new things around him, like we're at the grocery store or at the park, or we're driving in the car and he sees, like pretty Christmas lights or something. Like he will flap and scream.
Okay.
Um, and then when he's upset, he he will flop on the floor and just kind of lay, but he doesn't really flail. He doesn't scream and cry. It's just like a flop.
Okay.
Like he gave up.
Okay. What would
Um,
you say the oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Um, that's typically what it's like. If, like, for example, uh, he wants something from Target, and I'm like, oh no, sorry, next time or not right now. Um, he will flop, but he won't. He won't say anything. It's so odd. It's just he will lay there, and I'm like, okay, are you done? And he'll get up and continue walking. But as far as like the high pitched screaming and the flapping, that's like when he is really excited,
Okay, perfect.
or
So,
at least in my experience. Yeah.
all right. And so, would you say then the hand flapping and high pitched screaming, that's your single most concerning problem right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What are the top three most concerning problem behaviors you've noticed? So we've talked about the flopping and the hand flapping and the high pitched screaming. If you were to rate them, um, one being the most concerning to three being the least concerning, could you go ahead and um, describe those for me?
Number one is the screaming.
Screaming.
It is. It's very embarrassing when we're out. Um, Almost to the point where like I sometimes think about not even bringing him to the grocery store or, you know, making extra trips to, the bank or something. It's so hard. Because, I can't leave him in the car, but it's, it's like he's screaming in a bank.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's understandable. And also, it's like you want him to have a good time. And it seems like from your report, he does it most when he's excited. And it's like you want to have him excited, but also you don't want the high pitched screaming. All right. Well, what would you say is the next most concerning problem behavior?
I want to say the flapping.
The hand flapping? Okay.
Yes, just because it's like it seems to accompany the screaming. Like I'd
Okay.
never seen one without the other.
Okay, they come together. And then I'm assuming is the third one.
The flopping, but I feel like it's manageable. Like he just is a 3-year-old on the ground at Target. um, and he will get up and redirect. Does take some time at times, but I don't find it to be as big of a problem or a challenge like the screaming
Okay.
is. Like I would rather deal with flopping all day than
Mm-hmm.
screaming.
Okay. Is there any other concerning problem behaviors you would like us to write down or have noticed?
Not problem behavior, but perhaps lack of skill in the areas of like eye contact. He knows his name, but he just
Okay.
will not look at you. Like sometimes I know he's listening or he seems like he's listening, but like half the time, like, people don't know if he's just ignoring them or what, but he won't look at you. Like, he won't really um acknowledge that you're talking to him in that typical way. He might just be a 3-year-old thing, but he can't really do jigsaw puzzles, like even the bit large pieces with only like 4 pieces in it. He struggles with that. I would say gross motor skills are fine, but fine motor, I notice he has a hard time like picking up tiny things. Like, say we dropped goldfish on the ground, like he doesn't use his fingers to pick them up. He tries to like grasp them with all of his hands, or sorry, all of his fingers, and it just doesn't work. Like, he ends up crushing the goldfish, and then there's just goldfish crumbs on the ground, and then I have to bring out the vacuum.
Gotcha. All right. So, circling back to those problem behaviors we were just discussing, is there any concern of injury with any of these behaviors?
No.
No. Okay. All right. All right. And so, do the different types of problem behaviors tend to occur in bursts or clusters? Or does any type of problem behavior typically precede another type? I know you said the hand flapping occurs usually with the screaming, but do they usually occur like at a burst and like all together, or are they usually isolated?
I would say isolated events, like say we're walking in the frozen aisle. He'll scream and flap. But then we walk to the toy aisle and he'll also scream and flap.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's like he's screaming over and over and over again in one instance. It's like different areas or different things that he sees or notices. It'll cause him to scream and flap.
Okay, so the screaming and the flapping, the hand flapping, are the two that go together, but the flopping is not, right? So it's just the hand flapping, the screaming when he's excited, and then the flopping is isolated when he's just something upsets him. Correct?
Yeah, or typically it's like if he doesn't get what he wants, like he will just lay on the ground. And it's not like he, throws himself on the ground. It's like he will just go and lay himself on the ground like a starfish and just lay there.
Okay.
And like try to make eye contact with me, like look at me, like sad baby eyes.
Oh. Okay, well, do you notice that these problem behaviors occur in particular times of the day or certain activities? I know you said with the hand flapping and the screaming, it's usually when he's excited, but are there certain activities you'll usually see him do those behaviors?
I'd say when he's out and about with me, outside. Like, in the car, not really at home, because I feel like things are like very familiar. Like, it wouldn't make him excited unless maybe, I don't know, we put up the Christmas tree. But I just noticed like it's usually when we're out and about, like, new restaurant, or we check out clothing store, or grocery, we're at the bank. Yeah.
Do certain people also trigger those behaviors when he gets excited?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he will sometimes scream and clap, like flap for, mom and dad coming home from work, but I wouldn't say it's the same
Okay.
as when we're like shopping or riding in the car, or he sees a Christmas tree, or he sees, you know, like right now, Halloween decorations all over
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of people's yards, and he has the cool lights, purple, orange, like he's like screaming, flapping, but then now also I notice like he's trying to say the colors.
Oh, okay. All
So that's
right.
really cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that until really recently.
Yeah. All right. Do you ever notice that the problem behaviors occur when you like break a routine or interrupt a certain activity?
No,
No.
I'd say except, the flopping, he just doesn't get what he wants.
Okay.
He'll flop.
Okay. Do you ever notice that the problem behavior will occur or increase if he won't get his way? If you're like denying access to things, do you notice that
Mm,
flopping occurring?
yeah, it's pretty predictable, to be honest. Like, if he wants something. And I'm like, no, sorry, not right now, honey. I know he's gonna flop. But
Okay.
I mean, so now it's just like, you know, waiting for him to recollect himself and move on, which he can do.
Okay. Well,
It's not
so
like,
how do you guys how do you usually react when he is doing these behaviors? Let's start with the hand flapping and the screaming. How do you usually react to those behaviors?
we try to tell him, like, Jimmy, stop. We have to stay quiet, indoor voices. Um, we try to also, like, hold his hands, like, throughout at the bank or the grocery store. Um, but, like, if he's in the cart and I'm pushing the cart, like, he's just kind of screaming and flapping. Um,
Do they usually um, does the screaming get louder when you do tell him to, stay quiet? Does he just do it louder?
no, I'd say it's, like, the same high pitch scream, super loud, like, maybe one or two times, and then that's it. But it's, like, so loud, like, my husband can hear it from, like, a completely different side of the store.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, I know where my kid is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know where to find him.
All right. And what about the flopping? How do you guys react with the flopping?
At first, we used to, like, try to tell him, like, Jimmy, come on, get up, da da da. But now it's like, we don't even really pay attention.
Okay.
And we just wait.
All right. Have you noticed any strategies or ways that has helped him calm down when he gets overly excited and do the hand flapping and the screaming?
To be honest, no. Like, I don't know what will work.
Okay.
Um, I thought, like, trying to prepare him. Like, oh, we're gonna get this, we have to stay quiet. And, like, it just doesn't. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's, he's 3 or he's literally that excited.
Okay. And what about
But
the
as
flopping?
flopping, if we don't pay too much attention to it, he will just get up and continue.
Okay.
So I don't really like, I would say flopping is like the least of my worries, just because it seems like it is improving and hopefully he just matures out of it.
Okay. All right. Is there any ways that you guys have you guys ever tried to distract him when he's doing these behaviors?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not sure like what we would try to distract him with either.
No distraction. Okay. Do you think that the problem behavior is a form of self stimulation in a way?
Yes, I guess so. It just it just happens when he's excited, or it seems like he um really likes what he's looking at, or like really likes what is in front of him, around him.
You would say that the hand flapping and the screaming, would you say, do you think is a form of self stimulation, or would you consider also flopping a form of self stimulation?
Flopping, no. But the flapping and the screaming, yes.
Okay. All right. And then the last question here is why do you think he is engaging in these problem behaviors? I know we were just going over it, but in short, like, why do you think he's doing these behaviors?
I think he's so excited, but like doesn't know how to express it appropriately. And I also don't know how to teach that with him because he's just so excited. Like, no matter how many times I try, or maybe it's just I'm not using the right method, but he's just as loud as the first time, he ever did it when he was younger. And he still flaps. And so, yeah.
Okay. Excited. And for the flopping, why do you think that
Flapping.
one occurs?
I mean, genuinely, he's disappointed that he's not getting what he wants. Um, But
Okay.
I also think that it's might also be like age appropriate because he is 3.
All right. Before we wrap up this interview, is there anything else you would like me to know or add on to his documents here?
He doesn't engage in any kind of self-harm, or
Okay.
he doesn't hit people, or he doesn't throw things at people. Sometimes he throws things, but it's not at you.
You. But he will throw.
Sometimes he just gets so silly. It's just like, oh, Legos on the ground. Like, oh my goodness. But
Okay.
sometimes it's hard for him to get it, like, clean it up. But it's rare that he even throws anyway.
When you tell him to, like, pick it up, would he ever do the flopping behavior that we talked about earlier?
No, not really. It's more like, it's like he stalls. Like, he just sits there,
Okay.
like, perhaps waiting for me to, like, clean it up for him. But once he realizes, like, oh, I'm not gonna do it, he'll go and pick it up.
Okay. Perfect. All right, Chloe, I just want to go ahead and thank you for joining me with this interview. We're all done. We went through all the questions. Is there any other questions you have for me before we go ahead and wrap this up?
No.
All right. Well, if you have any other questions, you have my email. You can go ahead and use that if you have any other questions. But you have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.